Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new, thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I wanted to share with you some of my best and most practical college hacks I've discovered throughout my first few years of college. I'll be sharing hacks about saving money, academics, and dorm life, so let's get started. Number 1 is to actively look for student discount policies. Look at the stores and brands in the area near your university and see if they have any student discounts. They usually will, but they won't outright tell you, so you should take the initiative to go and look for yourself. For example, Target has something called their Red Card, and it's basically a debit card where if you use it whenever you're shopping at Target, either in-store or online, you'll get 5% off your entire purchase. Spotify also has student discounts where you can get Spotify Premium, free Hulu, and Showtime for only $5 a month. Aside from general student freebies, check to see if you get any free subscriptions through your college or university, because usually they're really bad at advertising it, and unless you seek them out for yourself, you're not going to find anything. For example, I'm a student at Boston University, and every BU student gets a free subscription to the New York Times. That being said, I do know that a lot of my friends didn't really realize this until even their sophomore or junior year of college, so don't be one of those people. You definitely want to take advantage of all the things that you get through your college or university, especially since you're paying so much money for tuition. Number 3 is to download Venmo, and now Venmo is a free-to-use mobile payment app that you can just install right onto your phone, and I'm pretty sure that almost everyone I know has it. It just makes it super easy to pay someone back for something or for someone to pay you when you're splitting costs for food or transportation at school. Number 4, if you really want to get a job while you're studying, aim to get an on-campus job through your university. Of course, you can always work off campus if that's what you prefer, but I've usually found that working on campus is a lot easier on your schedule. Campus employers will usually do their best to match up with your academic schedule, whether it be through classes or midterms or finals, and I really feel like you don't get that same flexibility if you're working, let's say, off campus at a local store in the city. Number 5. If you're going to school somewhere far away from your home, keep an eye out for travel deals and rewards. Going to school is already so expensive with the tuition costs, the textbook costs, dining and housing, so you definitely don't want to add on to that unnecessarily. One of my friends at BU has to fly in from Texas, which is pretty far, and she uses a website called Travelocity. Through Travelocity, she's able to find really great price tickets, and Travelocity also has things like travel plans where you can book flights and hotel rooms or cars if you need it for your entire family, if they're helping you move in or if they're visiting for a weekend. Number 1 is to find online textbooks or PDFs. This hack will literally save you hundreds of dollars because textbooks are so expensive, and you can usually find electronic versions of your textbooks for free online. Your local bookstore for your university is going to try really hard to sell you overpriced books. Don't fall for it. I have a friend at BU who is really good at finding online PDFs of his textbooks, and he uses a website called Library Genesis. So if you're interested in looking for online versions of your textbooks to save money, I would highly encourage you to check out the website too. Even if you're someone who knows that they don't do well reading online and you need a physical copy, there are so many websites out there that sell used textbooks or will rent you textbooks for really cheap. Number 2 is to go to office hours. If you don't know what office hours are, basically it's a time set aside by your professor where you can go in and ask different questions or just strike up any conversation you want with them. Going to office hours is such a great way to get to know your professors and build really important connections with them. I know a lot of students who have developed great relationships with their professors by going to their office hours, and even were able to manage things like land an internship through them or get a really great letter of recommendation. I'm telling you guys right now that going to office hours is probably the number 1 most important and most underestimated piece of advice that you're going to get going into college. I wish so badly that I had started going to office hours a lot sooner. Please go to office hours from day 1, trust me on this. Number 3 is to ask an upperclassman for advice. I know it can probably sound a little scary or even crazy to you coming in as a freshman, but if you meet an upperclassman that's, a president of a club you think is really interesting, or has an internship that you really want also, just take the time to talk to them and ask them how they got there, what they did to reach their goals. Your peers can honestly be incredible resources to find different opportunities and explore different pathways that can help you reach your goals. Additionally, if your school has some kind of peer tutoring program, I would highly recommend checking it out through the educational resource centers that your university offers, because having peer tutors is going to help you a lot more on your assignments, I think, than just going to your professors, because these students are older, they've been through the classes that you've been through, they know the struggle, and they can often give you really great tips and tricks and advice. Number 4 is to handwrite your notes. notes. A lot of professors are going to allow laptops, but if you're able to, I would really recommend writing your notes by hand. The science has shown that by handwriting your notes, you're going to retain way more information than you would if you were just typing, and you're going to retain that information for a lot longer. Again, it might seem like you're writing really slow compared to your typing peers, but when you study for exams later, it's going to save you a lot of time because you'll already feel a lot more confident about the material. Number 5 is to choose your study groups wisely. I know from experience that sometimes a study group can kind of devolve into just a regular hangout with your friends, which is totally fine, and sometimes you need that. But when you're studying for exams like your midterms or finals, you want to be really wary and conscious of how you're organizing your time and your study habits. If there's something that you really have to study for, if you want to study in a group, make sure everyone's on the same page about what everyone's study goals are so you can actually get stuff done. Number 6 is to find various study spaces. While I'm sure all of us have that one favorite study spot, let yourself explore campus and see what other study spaces you can find. Even if you're someone like me who likes to study in their room, you're eventually going to want a change of scenery, and it's never a bad idea to have some more options. Number 1 is that when you first arrive on campus, literally say hi to everyone you meet and introduce yourself. You're going to feel very self-conscious. You're going to feel awkward. You're going to feel like that's kind of dumb, but I guarantee it's not dumb, and everyone is feeling just as awkward and self-conscious as you are. Everyone is new and wanting to make friends during the first week of school, so take advantage of that and say hi to everyone you see. I guarantee that even though you might feel kind of awkward, that person is really going to appreciate you reaching out. Number 2 is to take extra cutlery wherever you are. Anytime you're somewhere that gives away free plastic cutlery like the university food court or something like that, always be sure to take a couple extra for your room. You never know when you might need it, and honestly, it's the worst feeling when you come back to your dorm with some food and you realize you have no utensils to eat it with, so it's never bad to keep a couple extra plastic forks and spoons on hand. Number 3 is to bring a power strip, and this is a must if you have a ton of electronics. My dorm room sophomore year only had like a couple outlets, and that was definitely not enough for all of the electronics I used, whether it was my phone, my laptop, or even things like a humidifier or a desk lamp. Just be sure to check with your college so it fits the requirements and you don't end up doing something on accident like blowing a fuse in your room. Number 4 is to put your friends or your roommates' phone numbers inside your phone case. That way, in case your phone ever dies and you don't have people's numbers memorized, you have the contact info of the people who are nearby on campus that you can call or text if you need help. Number 5 is to keep a journal. I know that a lot of people will journal for their mental health, which is super awesome, but even having a small notebook to write about the things that you did that day is such a good idea. In college, your schedule is going to be so packed that the days are going to fly by, and before you know it, it's going to be the end of the week and you're not going to be able to recall anything you did because you weren't able to process it. Keeping a journal can be as simple as writing 2 bullet points each day about what you did, but I guarantee that you'll love having something to look back on. Number 6 is buying doubles of things. If there are things that you use every single day, like toothpaste or shampoo or a toothbrush, bring double. At college, it can be really difficult to have access to a regular store. The closest things to your dorm are often going to be things like convenience stores with snacks and stuff like that, but they won't always carry everything you need. Your schedule isn't always going to allow you to have time to just run to the store on a whim, so if you run out of toothpaste, it's good to have an extra on hand because you don't want to have to wait a week before you go buy some more. Number 7 is to download Uber and Lyft just so you have them on your phone. Like I mentioned earlier, I go to school in Boston, so it's super easy for me to take public transportation or just walk everywhere, but even saying that, I think it's a good idea to have the apps on your phone because you never know when you're going to want an Uber ride back to your dorm, especially if you're out at night. Number 8 is to bring Tupperware. While you're at college, there are going to be so many events with free food, so it's never a bad idea to keep a container on hand. That way you can save a snack for later on when you're in your dorm room. Also, I know you're not technically supposed to take food from the dining halls, but sometimes when you're in a rush, it can be really great to have a Tupperware container in your bag so you can just pour in some cereal or grab a sandwich to go if you're in a hurry to get to class. Number 9 is to seek out community. If you're a student of color or a student who is a part of the LGBTQ+ communities or any kind of underrepresented group like first-gen students, it's never a bad idea to see what resources your campus offers. Even if you don't plan on using the resources or plan on going to any events, it's always good to know what kind of organizations are there to support you. Number 10 is to have a snack bin in your room. There have been so many nights where I'll be up late studying and I'll feel hungry, but the dining hall will obviously be closed by then, so it's really nice to have a couple of granola bars or crackers on hand. That way I can grab a quick bite to eat without leaving my room. It's also great for days when you have a super packed schedule and you know you're not going to be able to stop in the dining hall later for lunch. That way you can just grab a snack from your stash and save it for later. Anyways, that's all for now, but thank you so much for stopping by my channel and watching this video. And as always, please be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell down at the bottom if you want to see more. Again, thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!